Most horror movies are afraid of silence. They're afraid that if they don't rattle a cabinet or blast a violin screech every 5 minutes, you'll get bored and click away. But Osgood Perkins, a man who clearly understands that grief is the quietest thing in the world, isn't afraid of it. In his 2015 debut, The Black Coat's Daughter, silence isn't just a stylistic choice, it's a character. It breathes between scenes, stretches time, and forces us to sit with emotions most films desperately try to distract us from. This is a film about two girls left behind at a boarding school during winter break, but it's actually about something much worse. The moment you realize that being possessed by a demon might actually be preferable to being invisible. Because abandonment, when it sinks in, feels cold, routine, and endless, much like the snow that buries this film. The story plays a dangerous game with time. We follow Kat and Rose at the school, and a mysterious woman named Joan as she hitches a ride with a grieving couple. For a first-time viewer, it feels disjointed. You're looking for the connection, waiting for the slasher to emerge from the woods. But Perkins is doing something more surgical. He's showing us the before and the after simultaneously. He fractures the narrative on purpose, forcing the audience into the same emotional confusion his characters are already drowning in. When Kat starts bowing to the furnace, we think we're watching a descent into evil. But look at her face. Kiernan Shipka plays Kat not as a villain, but as a child looking for a parent. Her performance isn't about corruption, it's about desperation, the kind that grows when no one notices you slipping away. If God isn't answering her prayers, and her parents aren't coming to pick her up, she'll take whoever is left behind the furnace door. Let's talk about the reveal. The realization that Joan is Kat years later is tragic, because it recontextualizes everything we've already witnessed. Joan's hollow stare, her emotional flatness, her quiet fixation. They aren't signs of evil, they're symptoms of unresolved loss. Most possession movies end with an exorcism. The priest throws the holy water, the demon leaves, and the victim is saved. The Black Coat's Daughter asks something far more uncomfortable. What if the victim didn't want to be saved? When the priest performs the rite and Kat sees that shadow, the only thing that has stayed with her, leave the room, she doesn't feel liberated. She whispers, "Don't go." That is the most chilling line in the entire script, not because it's scary, but because it's relatable. We've all held on to something toxic just because the alternative was a vacuum. The ending of this movie is where most people get confused. Joan, now an adult, returns to the school. She kills again, and she offers the heads to the furnace, hoping her friend will come back. But the furnace is cold. The demon is gone. This isn't a scream of terror, it's a scream of heartbreak. She is totally and spiritually alone. Perkins flips the script. The horror isn't that the devil is in the room, the horror is that even the devil has abandoned you. The Black Coat's Daughter is a slow burn that leaves you shivering long after it's over. The violence, when it comes, is brutal and jagged, but it's almost secondary to the atmosphere of grief. Loneliness, the film argues, is not the absence of people, it's the absence of being chosen. The film is a reminder that the things we do to avoid loneliness are often far more monstrous than the things we're afraid of in the dark. So ask yourself this: what would you be willing to invite in just to have someone to talk to? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.